Okay, folks, so episode 78 actually has some good stuff in it. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as episode 77, but either way, I'm still giving it a solid 8 out of 10. Over at the police station, Jacob's father, Elon, talks to him about the fact that, son, did you use your badge to skip the line, aka bypass red tape, in order to help out some homeless lady? And Jacob admits that he did, and Elon talks about how he's proud of him. And that kind of goes back into one of my previous reviews, I believe, episode 77, where Jacob was talking to Naomi about the fact that, I don't know if I'm making much of a difference if I'm following everything by the book. But sometimes, it's like I said in the video, when it comes to these kind of positions of authority, in order to make change, sometimes you have to step outside of the rule book and do what you feel is right rather than what the law says you need to do. That doesn't mean break the law for your own personal gain, but when it comes to a service of the people you are meant to protect, yeah, sometimes rules are meant to be broken. Now, the thing is, Smitty actually shows up and he's talking with Jacob about, hey, thanks for seeing me. And there's a certain person on the force that might be accepting some dirty money. And Jacob's like, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. And then from a distance, Elon sees what's going on. And then he gets on the phone. It's like, yeah, we need to meet at our usual spot. And yikes, I feel like yet again this is further confirmation that Jacob's father is on the take too. Now over at the Dupree estate, Vernon gets home and yells about losing, somebody losing a man. Obviously in reference to the busboy or someone in relation to the busboy that, Vernon was keeping tabs on. Now, this person has put the Dupree family in a pretty risky situation, and they will pay. Now, Vernon gets on the piano to let off some of that anger, and then Anita calls. He goes off on her, but it's like, oh wait, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was you. And she's like, she's calling to see how things are going because in terms of the articulates, everything is going well. And not only is the music and the rehearsals going well, but slowly but surely we're working out what's been, holding back our relationship as sisters. And she misses her husband and said that, oh, I miss you too, baby. And don't worry, everything here is going great. And she knows that everything isn't going great, but he kind of covers saying, no, everything is fine and I miss you too. Anita knows, like, I'm gone 5 minutes and all hell's done broke loose. Anita, if only you knew. And speaking of secrets, over at the country club, Martin goes up to that busboy, Kenneth, to be like, okay, what's going on now? And he finally lets him know what's going on. Now, the last time he saw me, Martin, was on that dark road. And your friends in high places sought to take care of the situation. And 2 years is a long time, but Martin time didn't make him forget anything. You got another thing coming. And Martin's like, wait, what is it you want? Oh, you're going to pay for your sins now. And he's like, what exactly are you talking about? So Kenneth reveals that on that night you were changing a tire on a dark road. And there was a fight that happened. And Martin offers money to make the situation go away. And Kenneth goes into detail about, you know what? Yeah, 2 years ago, folks like, you with some black royalty, you snub your noses up at the roadkill you leave behind. Bro comes off as low-key racist. I'm just like, Argh. So apparently Martin killed Kenneth's brother. And it turns out they tried to rob Martin. So it's like, bro, self-defense. But in any case, since my brother's no longer here, I came back to finish what he started. Now it's all making sense. And I just had to segue real quick because Doug, remember what I talked about in my episode 75 review where Doug all of a sudden found some bass in his voice and he's acting like, he has the right to chew out Vanessa? So we go over to the hospital and she's on a call with Joey talking about a new property. And I got to admit, it's one thing to have great writers, but it's another to have actors who could take the script and those lines and just sell it. Because when Vanessa's being a bit cheeky about, hey, remember that property we talked about? Nope, don't back out now. It has, a great view, central location, a working laundry. And Joey's like, don't let that clever mouth lead you astray. Oh, well, it led me to you. Talk to you soon. We can make plans. I'm just like, wow. So basically, Joey's like, hey, you're not wearing the pants of this relationship. Oh, no, we both got one leg in. So Doug actually shows up as she's getting off the phone and yeah. She is gleeful about the fact that the commercial property is going over well. And he's like, yeah, well, just make sure you leave the bedroom the way you found it. And he's jealous. Like, what is it about Joey that excites you? And she's like, I don't know. And Doug is like, well, his danger will end up turning on you. And he's worried about her going to prison. So he makes yet again another low blow about her cheating. And she reminds Doug that if not for you, we wouldn't be in this position. And he's like, well, you know what? I'm done with all this the second Joey gets that 250 grand. So he just leaves and go back to work. Man, Doug, bro, shut up. No, Doug, you don't get to do this. You don't. You do not get to do this. You got this crap started. You did. Because if you would have told your wife a lot sooner, then perhaps, this wouldn't have happened. Or even better, took your boy, dang, Randy, right? Is that his boy? Joey's right hand, the guy that Doug grew up with. Now, I know you're probably like, Jeremy, you forgot his name. Can you blame me? We haven't seen Randy in like over a month. He told you, don't get involved with my boss. Man, come on, I want to play the tables. And now look at you. Oh, yeah, and speaking of marriages that are kind of on the outs right now, Nicole actually shows up to Ted's office and pretty much says, hey, I've been getting your flowers, but stop sending them. It's like, I've just been giving the flowers to the nurses around the hospital. And at this point, she just wants to get down to business. Like, look, I want to revise our living trust and talk about adding executives to it. And Ted's like, look, can I move back into the house? And I understand you don't want to sleep with me right now, so I'll just sleep in another bedroom. And she's like, you're kidding, aren't you? And he's like, look, I know I should have told you about what happened between me and Dana a long time ago, and I shouldn't have done that. And if I could, I'd change it. And obviously at this point, he's concerned that this is just one of the few steps leading towards divorce. And at this point, Nicole just lets it be known that she's trying to get herself back because, yeah, Ted loves her and he doesn't want this affair to just pave over everything they've built over the past, 20 plus years. But even though she misses Ted and she's been actually practicing telling this man, I forgive you. But despite that, she can't bring herself to believe what she says. So, if nothing else, it's like looking at Ted is like looking at Leslie. And everything is all too fresh. Like, despite the affair happening decades ago, it just now coming to the light. And I can understand. I can definitely understand. And see, this is why Vanessa told Nicole, I know you want to sell the house to just get rid of memories and everything, but give it like a year. And if you feel the same way, hey, I'll help you sell at the highest value and whatnot. But for right now, just kind of sit with it. Like, don't make any huge rash decisions yet. And he asked, like, look, can I come home and we could try to heal this? And it's like, you broke me, Ted. And look, her acting, man, Nicole's acting in scenes like this is something else. And he's like, look, I know I did. And Leslie has no power over them. Yeah, look, she might not have been in any episodes this week, but something tells me she's plotting in the background. And he basically takes her hand and tries to talk about like how they met at that conference, and they have so much more to give and whatnot. And don't let Leslie Dana steal our future. And she's just worried about the fact that I'm trying to save me, not our marriage. So she pretty much leaves. And as she's leaving Ted's office, she runs into Vanessa outside of the nurse booth. And from there, she can tell Vanessa's upset. Obviously, both of them are upset by their husband's secret activities. And while Nicole is concerned for her friend, she's like, look, at this point, I'm getting what I want, and everybody else can eat my dust. Like, I'll be damned if I'll let anybody's thoughts or feelings about what I'm up to now and who I'm up to it with will stop me from doing what I want. So after she leaves, Ted, pops up, and he and Nicole exchange looks, but then he gets on the elevator and leaves. Man, this week is going to be good. So Smitty is over at the diner talking with Jacob, because remember, they had met up earlier in the police station. So they're just chatting, and Jacob is, surprised when Smitty brings up, wait, you think the detective is on the tape? Because remember, way back when, Jacob saw Marcel taking money from Joey, but then his dad eased his suspicion, saying, no, Joey works for the feds. He's one of the good guys. So from there, they discussed the detective and Joey being in the same circles. And despite Joey and rumors and everything, he's never been indicted. And from there, it's like, it's strange yet again, like, Marcel randomly become a millionaire in the past couple of years. All of a sudden, he's in the same yacht club as Joey. So Jacob knows about the yacht, but he's shocked when Smitty brings up that I got Marcel's bank statement. What? So he says, like, that's illegal, right? But as soon as Smitty starts going through the numbers, Jacob is like, wait a minute, April 2nd, $5,000. That's that. Wait a minute. Yeah, Joey. And then Smitty's like, yeah, well, two years ago, he got $500,000 in his account. And Jacob's like, yeah, there has to be some correlation here. So in April, I saw a handoff between Joey and Marcel. But my dad said it's some sort of like secret police thing going on. And if that's the case, the detective might be playing my dad. Oh, Jacob, come on now. Now, with that being said, he doesn't know anything about what happened 2 years ago and $500,000 because he was nothing more than a patrol cop at the time. But I'll do some digging on my end to see what I can find out. And Smitty's like, yeah, I think we might be on to something. But Jacob's like, look, I need more convincing. But like I said, I'll look into it to see what I can do. And from there, they talk about how hard it is going to keep this to ourselves. But man, oh man. So speaking of suspect cops, we go over to Joey's gambling place. And Jacob's dad, Elon, meets with Detective Marcel. And they're both on the edge. And Marcel says that somebody hacked into my bank account. Jacob's dad knows Smitty probably did it. And he told Jacob about a certain cop making large cash deposits. So the detective is just pissed off. And if that, journalist knows about it, then he probably knows even more because he's going to keep digging. And Joey walks in and assumes that the detective is right. So they start playing poker and Joey cleans them out, commenting that even Doug's a better card player than the two of them, which is saying a lot, by the way. So Elon offers to tell Jacob about, like, hey, make nice. But the detective would rather take a tire iron to Smitty, like, you know what? Come on now. Like, we got to nip this in the bud. So in the midst of the conversation, Vanessa shows up and she's introduced to Elon and Marcel. And Joey says like, yeah, this is my business partner. She explains she knows Jacob, and they all talk for a bit because they got to discuss what's going on. So actually, Marcel and Elon leave, and Joey's like, yeah, there are boundaries in our partnership, and there are some questions that you don't get to ask me about. And of course, Vanessa, being intrusive, wants to know what's happening. So he's like, look, you'll disappear if you knew what was really going on behind these doors on a daily basis. And she's like, try me. I'll take it under advisement. Man, I feel like, Vanessa is like she's telling Doug, like by the end of this, she's going to have so much dirt on Joey. I think at this point, she's making it clear, I'm not a pawn. I'm an equal to Joey. And in order to gain insurance, she's going to try to understand the inner workings of his operation. So let's say if he, I don't know, tries to throw her under the bus or, I don't know, go back on their deal, she'll have leverage. But that might turn out to be more dangerous than she plans. Now, from there, Martin arrives at his grandpa's place and, updates the situation after talking with that busboy Kenneth. And Vernon's like, didn't I tell you to let it go? And that nightmare from 2 years ago is just haunting you, and I'm sorry about that. So this busboy can destroy their whole family. And Vernon's like, look, that man who came at you, he started what happened that night. And I'm not going to let him ruin our family legacy. So he's not going to tell Martin about what's happening. But just keep up your regular routine. And if that busboy comes up to you, well, hey. Martin is like, well, at this point, like, don't keep me in the dark, Granddad. I need to know everything going on. And Vernon's like, okay, yeah. So after Martin leaves, Vernon gets on the phone call. Is like, he's back. And that's pretty much the end of it. So yeah, this week looks like it's going to be a good run. The promo has me really excited. Obviously, my favorite bit is when Martin walks into a room and it's full of individuals who know the secret. Marcel, Joey, Bill, his grandfather. I think Elon is in there as well. Then you got Ted, who knew from the jump. So it's pretty wild. But with that being said, that's all I have. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.